Recording in progress. Oh, are we doing all from the beginning?
In the Pop Culture Cupid podcast, we talk about how pop culture influences our expectations in relationships. I'm Alison, love coach, here to help you single people find your way back to love.
Healthy communication. I'm Michelle. I help singles embrace themselves and their singleness, as well as develop a healthy self-relationship. We bring some juicy stories from our own love lives and dating, and it gets pretty interesting. Be focused, we're going to be to the point, and no digressing.
Self-awareness. Follow, share, subscribe, enjoy.
And like and comment.
If it's shockingly bad, we just re-record another one.
Yeah. No, I think there's some good stuff that you can just nitpick.
Hey, Editing Alison. You'll see this version of me several times in the next few episodes, only because, just to remind you, these episodes have been recorded before we started posting, so something in the chronology may seem off. We're aware. Thank you for your patience. It is just topics that we pick up from pop culture. You don't need to have consumed anything that we're talking about. It's just listening and enjoying and chatting. So thank you and see you soon. Concise. Is trusting your gut and realizing that you've got a toxic thought process.
Yeah.
Because this came up, so you know what's going to happen, but this came up for the Hannah topic. So she was dating, I think, Nick, and then kind of came up with this scenario that he's not a good guy, and so has talked about it with all of the girls who've all said this is your gut and you need to listen to your gut, and so she broke it off.
Yeah. And
I think Hannah is also a whole topic to talk about, but let's just focus on the gut versus toxic thought process. I really, from what I saw on the first episode, I really didn't think that her gut feeling was justified. I might be wrong, I'll see. But I just feel that she has been hurt and so has constructed this whole thing of, I want to protect myself and protect my feelings. And so is misconstruing, past scars for gut, my gut instinct. And so is kind of becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, are we going straight into recording the next episode, or are we, sorry for...
I think we're going straight into recording, like we're not...
Just straight in and we'll just cut it. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly, because I was like, I can't remember exactly what happened at that point in time with her gut-ish, whatever, but like I remember thinking of like, what just happened? Like, where did that come from?
Exactly.
Like, huh? I don't get it. And I think she doesn't trust herself. So she's like, I don't know, a lot of times when you don't trust yourself, it's hard to trust your gut instinct.
Yeah.
And I think it's sort of like a kind of defense mechanism where I'm like, where she sort of creates this fabricated gut instinct. And I think also when you talk too much about it with other people, because you don't trust your own gut instinct, then it sort of causes you to lose even more touch with your instincts and what you really feel. And it confuses you because you're hearing all of these voices and opinions of people who weren't in the room and don't really know, and sort of feeding you their own thoughts and feelings and opinions, and then that makes you really confused. So
with these situations where I always say that the first date is the worst first impression, because you are so it's so uncomfortable. You want to make a good first impression, but especially when you're in your 30s, like when you're in your 20s, you're kind of still used to getting to know new people all the time because of school, because of everything and going out. But in your 30s, you kind of just are settling and like seeing the same people all the
Yeah.
time. And in Love is Blind, they are dating 10 people in the dark. It's so uncomfortable. So I think this
Yeah.
guy, is his name Nick?
I think so.
Okay, let's call him Nick.
There was Nick and there was the other guy.
Not the physician, the other one.
Yeah, the art dealer.
Wait, maybe it is the physician I'm talking about. Not the one that's got a lot of money, the other one.
Yeah, yeah. The
Is that the
one
art
that
dealer?
has a lot of money is the art dealer. I can't remember his name,
Right, so,
but
so I'm
it's
talking about
not
the
Nick.
physician. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. We know who we're talking about.
I think we know who we're talking about. You guys know who we're talking about. So I think he is probably a reformed bad boy. Again, I have only seen the first episode, but he has
Yeah.
probably kind of, in a world where people go on Love is Blind to truly find love, which I still kind of think that it's true. I think he's talked to all of these women and has been so clumsy because he's trying to make a good first impression. He's trying to flirt with them. He's trying to make them feel comfortable, and it's just come off a bit icky, which is
Yeah.
tough, and that's a whole other situation. And so Hannah was able to see through that and has gone on a few dates with him. And then it the whole conversation kind of rubbed off on her because she was having a conversation where somebody else told her he's not the love of your life, and that's where her whole thing kind of started talking, and so she let herself be influenced, and then so she's probably got this whole kind of past relationships of suffering and things like that, and so she's let her guards go way back up and is not giving him the benefit of the doubt off of other people's opinion who don't know him, who haven't met
Yeah.
him, and only because it's this whole first impression. And I think yeah, there is something to the gut feeling, 100%. But I think when it comes to dating, and especially this type of situation, like your gut is completely off base. I think your gut doesn't know what the fuck is going on and is all over the place, and so
Yeah.
it needs a bit of a break.
Yeah. And I think it's also specifically in Love is Blind, it's relying solely on like specific senses because you can't see the person, you can't feel the person, and obviously it's not part of the experiment, but it's sort of blocking you in a way because I believe that you need to have all of your senses present to really get a good sense of a
Yeah,
person and to be able to have a clear gut instinct. And also, of course, there's all the outside noise and there's all of these opinions and all of these people, and it's confusing. And someone else may be dating him in the same facility as you, and then they're telling you their experience of dating him, and that's completely confusing and it can be completely different.
yeah,
Again, you said that the first date is a terrible first impression. So maybe with someone else, he hadn't this impression with them and he came off as that. And then you have your date that he came off a bit differently. So you're sort of, and in a normal situation, you're not dating the same person as someone you know in your real life. And then you're, cross-referencing and talking about like the different notes you wrote down. And so it's hard to really get a good gut impression of
yeah,
someone in that way. And yeah, I think you need to give it time. I think it's very hard to understand who a person is from just one date. I think you need to block out all the outside noise and trust your own opinion and do what you believe is best for you. Obviously, it's okay to get, outside validation or confirmation or just opinions, but you have to know how to filter them and
yeah,
what to listen to and what not to listen to. And also take into consideration that these people don't know the whole story. They don't know this person. They weren't in the room. And so they can't really give you the most and finest advice. And when you trust yourself enough to make these decisions and to know that you know how to decide and you know how to distinct whether this person is good for you or not, then it would be easier for you to trust yourself and your gut instinct and to make these decisions. So I think it's also part of the process of building that trust with yourself.
Yeah.
So I also looked it up. It was Nikki D and Leo that was the other guy. But yeah, I think Nick is just a bit awkward and kind of there's a whole thing with him. But
yeah, and it's we've seen. I think with Love Is Blind, I keep reflecting on these dating shows like Love Island. We're not watching it anymore, but we accept that they go on it for the clout, but we talk about it as if they weren't.